You're on the thing. Richard out with the game, we no feel it. Pulsechain and rise, I'm in number full of speed. Hex Pulsechain, we stop them in on the Rolex. Incentive token, power like diamond, big no flex. It's a Richard out that run the crypto scene. NCC, I try to test, but we mash up the scheme. Pulsechain, a bubble every dribble, make it clean. Expand the rise, my bank account looking mean. Lamborghini doors, them a fly like bird. World's largest diamond, power wrist, that's my word. Rolex for me and every tick, every top. Me invest in the best, nobody watch the stock. Richard out with the game, we no feel it. Pulsechain and rise, I'm in Lambo full of speed. Hex Pulsechain, we stop them in my Rolex. Incentive token, power like diamond, big no flex. No walk through the streets, no well car hide. Pulsechain at the future, at that we are right. Richard out lead the way, SSC just up the pride. My chain heavy, my success can't deny. We make the crypto world go down, pay respect. Pulsechain at the move, it's a global project. Incentive token, pay my big checks, my collect. The Lambo them a roll out cash. Richard out with the game, we no feel it. Pulsechain and rise, I'm in Lambo full of speed. Hex Pulsechain, we stop them in my Rolex. Incentive token, power like diamond, big no flex. Said the future bright, me not take no loss. Richard out, mash up the SOC, them not the boss. Hex pa my mind, every dollar my cost. Pulsechain for the people, we never double cross. Rolex pa my wrist, diamonds, them a clean. Lambo them a line up like a royal team. Biggest diamond in the world, my vision like a dream. Richard out, I lead the way. The kid Richard out with the game, we no feel it. Pulsechain and rise, I'm in Lambo full of speed. Hex Pulsechain, we stop them in my Rolex. Incentive token, power like diamond, big no flex. We said the future bright, me not take no loss. Richard out, mash up the SOC, them not the boss. Hex pa my mind, every dollar my toss. Pulsechain for the people, we never double cross. Rolex pa my wrist, diamonds them a gleam. Lambo them a line up like a royal team. Biggest diamond in the world, my vision like a dream. Richard out, I lead the way. Big keep real short round with the game, we no feel it. Pulsechain and rise, I'm in Lambo full of speed. Hex Pulsechain, we stop them in my Rolex. Incentive token, power like dash, my fly high. For real, we are the dance, the crypto kings. Richard out a lead, with the top of the things. Richard out a lead, with the top of the things.
What the hex is you guys talking about?
What the hex is going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Good morning, you guys. When Bob's.
Hello, Cell Pressure. How are you today? Whining and crying and complaining while pressing Cell?
What the heck?
These internet people, oh, y'all say you got friends, billionaire friends. You had to pay these guys, developers, 150 racks. Here, guys. Anybody good with You know Golang? You know Golang and Wang Tang. Wu-Tang? Protect your neck. 150K. Here's your 150K to help me create this L1 fork copy of Ethereum. All this bread, all this stuff going on, and then he's gonna create a situation that's gonna usurp the US dollar, and you think that's just gonna happen without repercussion?
55.
Damn!
What the hex?
What the heck?
Oh, you guys again. Jesus. Please stop streaming. Stop talking about the Hex token.
No.
My favorite thing in the mornings are coffee, sunshine, and...
What the hex?
Oh, and by the way, I'm human.
There's only one Tam, only one Tam.
But shout out to RHmax. He will be doing a stream about it.
Yeah.
And he also just announced the Pulse X conference for...
Again?
Yes, that was Pulsechain. Now is Pulse X conference for July.
Can we tone it down a little?
Max,
I mean,
Max,
like,
if
let's make a conference every week.
I don't know, like it's like
heck?
Max. I'm getting worried if has Max found methamphetamine or something? Do you have problems sleeping? Max,
I guess so.
We can
He's
talk,
putting in that work.
Pulsechain.
Black Rock. Let's do this.
What the heck?
What the heck?
What the hex? What the hex?
What
that
the
was a great
max?
intro. You guys have one of the best intros. One of my favorite. That's just
Well,
I mean
it's
it
all-
like three
well,
times. So
Thank
great.
you, but it's all downhill from here. So
The intro is
the
the best
intro.
part of the show.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yep. Is that what I do? That's my strategy. I skip the intro when I watch you guys normally, like every week, and so I always get a good stream out of it because I skip the intro. Right? That's what.
Right, but
It
that's
only goes
the-
up, right? If the intro is the best one, then I don't need to watch it first.
We take a lot of pride in the intro construction. It's a little bit different each week depending on what's happening. So
Yeah. Never can tell.
By the way, Max,
I don't
you
do that at all.
sound like you're speaking into the wrong microphone. Is there everything?
Is this better? Is this better?
No.
Pride
Is this
Month.
better?
Pride
I will
Month.
not be talking any.
It's a happy
I
Pride
blame
Month,
Restream.
by the way. It's
I blame
June.
Restream. Oh my god, it is AirPods. What did you guys tell me earlier?
You see,
Well, it sounded
on
fine in the green room.
the DJ, right? No,
Better.
but
I'm better. I won't be
Oh.
talking like this. I won't be talking like this.
There you go.
what a
I'll be
difference.
talking like this. Right?
Yeah.
Well
You know,
done,
DJ
well
Crib
done.
Mac, you still owe me $700 for this mic, so just throwing it out there.
The 700, is it the Shure
$650. It's the Shure
7B?
SMB 7B, something like that.
SMB?
Ma'am?
That's it.
He told me mic sucks one time, and then I upgraded again and again and again. And I told him it broke, and he's like, "I've never had that happen before." I'm like, "Shit, that's probably a good point."
The
And
more
it was
expe-
it was a connection issue. Yeah.
Listen, when you listen to DJ Cryptomatic, and this has happened, I know for like 4 years, he gives all this advice. People give away their cheap mics that were doing fine. They get this condenser thing going on. They get the board. They get the switches with the
cloud
lights
lifter.
and the dials, and then it sounds worse or it fails. So he's
Mic
the
sucks.
harbinger
There you go.
of defeat when it comes to audio. Honestly,
I mean, there's through the darkness we shall thrive, I guess. Yeah, it was a hard journey, but yes,
Wow.
Mike sucks less now. Mike sucks less.
That's very deep. Well, Gerardo, shout out to Gerardo. He did let's rate the streamer setup, right? In terms of audio and background lights, and that I thought that was very funny.
I got a solid B. I'm happy with that B. I'm proud of that B. I'll take the B.
get a B.
I'll take the B.
you know what? We're never on those lists.
No, he
It's
left
like-
us out completely.
Every list.
Not
No
even-
list has us on it. We're the
That could be a good thing.
unstreamers of the community.
Like not even an honorable mention.
You don't want to be
nothing.
on the list.
Good point.
You don't want to be on the list.
Well,
Join all of them.
happy,
Peter's like, am I on
happy,
the list now? What happened? Am I on the list?
happy Pride Month, everybody. Can we see some kissing action like in the
No.
Papa B,
No.
Peter, like in the green room?
No.
Like
Nobody
some
wants
blowing.
to see that.
What happens in the green room stays in the green room, guys.
Okay,
Exactly.
but last week's show with Finbear had quite a bunch of homophobic remarks, and I'm
Nice.
guilty of that too because I just find it funny. But of course, that can be upsetting to some. So shout out to the LGBTQ XYZ. We love you guys. And
HDTV.
some of them are in the chat. Let's see.
Some of them are in the chat. Look,
What a segue. What a segue.
love in any of its other than the angry types of
Yeah.
iterations is a wonderful thing.
It's
Go and
all
love
about-
who you want, however you want. But a penis and an anus is very funny. It's very funny and it's very strange.
It's
So thank
welcome to the Love Channel. It's good vibes only. Hex on Air is here. First, honorable mention to SMO Spider, who tried to be first, but didn't quite catch it. We got a Wookiee on the chain. Time management is key. Oh, man. Everybody's picking on me here, Papa B. You see? Now
You're
even the
pick-worthy.
chat starts.
respect.
Finbear, speaking of which, good to see you.
That clip. that clip. That was funny. Shout out
Go
to
Lang, Go Lang, Wu Tang. Shout out to Crypt. Like he comes up with this stuff. Like I was driving my car listening to him, and then he goes like, "Go Lang, Wu Tang." I almost hit the car in a ditch for laughing.
When I think of Golang, I think of Richard hiring developers tweets. Like when I'm in this context, but otherwise in tech world, it's just when I hear somebody say Golang, they're probably not a developer. They're probably because everybody says Go. They say Go instead of Golang if you're a dev, for example.
Oh,
when somebody says Golang,
okay,
yeah,
Golang,
Golang. Right there. Golang it rhymes better, I guess.
It does. It's a rapper's thing. Sandy Beach is here. Hope you're doing all right. Who else is in the chat? Hex Wizard 369.
Oh my god.
Tam Tam. There's
What the
only
heck?
one Tam Tam.
Woohoo!
Put in work.
Wait, Tam Tam was AI though. Ha, you see?
She's real.
Who said that?
Who said that? I think
I really need to
Jimrat
catch up the
said
last 2
that.
days. I'm really behind right now.
I think Jimrat said that on your very debate stream.
He's trying to,
but
he's
we're
trying
coming
to watch
that.
the stream right now. He's trying to listen to both of us.
Nice. Nice.
Yes, and that's the first story of the day. We have seen that. So
It's not the first. It's not the. Wait, can we just get one little dry subject out of the way first before we hit the stories of the day?
Sure.
So, RHmax, you're one of the guys that I don't mean to butter you up. I'm just saying.
Are you here to tell me who I shouldn't have on the show? Is this what this is?
No. We'll get to that later.
We're coming to that later.
Yeah. No. I'm saying that I think you've heard me say many a time. I just did like a 3-hour stream or 3-hour space where we kind of covered all the security ins and outs.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm always very careful at the beginning, middle, and end to always say that security is a team sport. We've got so many great security minds in our community. I always name you on the top of the list. Well, you and Hex Hangout, I would say, are great people to go and check any of the crap that I throw out. I consider myself a second grade level type of person or teacher to be able to instruct you in the door. But if you want to go to higher mathematics and higher education, always see, RHmax and Hex Hangout, and Parkway Productions is also coming up to speed on the higher division type of courses. But I got to say, yesterday my heart was broken, and I really tried to kind of conjure you out of nowhere and channel you, and you appeared and you said, yo, Papa, just keep your mouth shut. We'll discuss it on the show tomorrow. So the thing that pissed me off was I look at spaces and they have like a Pulsechain in the title. Of course I tune in. Sometimes I lurk. This one I was lurking, and last night, some guy like new to the community or whatever comes in and he wants to say, he gets excited and he says, "Hey guys, I got a cipher, a proven way of securing your crypto. And it consists of, you know what the, BIP32, BIP39. Do you know what the BIP39 list is? There are numbers, and these are all the words. And what you do is you write down the numbers, and then you add 2 numbers in front or in back of that, and then you just remember the combination that you did that. Then you put that into the email in an email." And then you encrypt the email and you send it to you leave it in drafts because no one would ever look there. And then you're good, man. It's the best. And people are like, "Oh, tell us more about this whole method of using a brain wallet and then fucking around. And what happened to the hardware wallet?" No, man. It's not about that. This is the best.
I mean, there's so many parts on that. I don't know what you want to unpack, but I mean, my first instinct, I just want to say too, when you said that.
Let me get to the main point. The main point is retardation is setting back in. Do you see it?
It never left.
And yeah, it never left. True. But the minute that you take your eye off of people, right, or new people kind of waft in from other communities, because we're still onboarding, I guess. Do you find that this retardation is frustrating you? How do you deal with it? Am I on the right track? What can we do to kind of make sure that people don't get diluted in this basic understanding of how to secure their shit? What do you think? Are you seeing this trend?
It's almost, yeah, good question. I mean, I think you do bring up a great point of like, how do we get people to stop like doing bad ideals? It's one thing, and then
You
turn to
can't.
people. Yeah, I mean, again, you try to save too many people, you turn to social justice warrior in the first place. So it's like, if you shout too loud, people are gonna like, think this way or that way, anyways. But I think just trying to get, I don't know. I feel like there's this continuous funnel of people coming into crypto, and they're always relearning all the lessons that everyone else failed behind them too. Unfortunately, like at least a good portion of them, if they do anything interesting, such as not your keys, not your coins, hold your own keys, all that stuff too. So I don't know. And then that combined with, I mean, I talked about VPNs before, all the VPN sponsorships, how that gives, I think, my opinion, gives people a false sense of security. Oh, because I talked about why they're not for security, they're for privacy and all these different trade-offs and stuff. They may not be for privacy, maybe stealing your data in the first place too. How do you know? How do you know what they say is true? All that stuff. So I don't know. I kind of actually, you're trying to give me an idea too of how do we, is there a way, but other than feeling like a broken record, because I know you, again, shouting hardware wallet, shouting do the right thing, all these different ways all the time. And a lot of security streams I put on, I reference you a lot too, especially if it's the hardware wallet side, which is not my thing. I've got a lot of experience in security from the industry for a long time now. It's not specifically hardware wallets.
Right.
But like, yeah, you're kind of giving me an idea too of what is a repeatable message that is easy to consume and hard to contradict, hard to even criticize, that would be like good for new people coming in, and they get exposed to it over and over and over through like a weekly post or something. I don't know. I feel like there's something there, but no, the fact that people come in and don't know anything and then get bad information and then come up with custom ideas. Again, my first instinct when you said that was, oh, a new idea. Has that been audited, vetted? Did you type it into ChatGPT and compare it against, like, ask it, does this make sense? Like, what are the flaws in it? Like, that's the tech we have now to kind of, fact check yourself.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. But I find this devolving, kind of like kids that learn how to tie their shoelace, right? And then they go a year and they're tying their shoelace fine. And then somebody says, like on the playground, they come out and they go, oh, you're not a cool kid unless you've done the real secure knot. And you're like, oh, is that a double knot? Because I already know that. No. You untie it and you just twist the two strands together a lot. And then it's really cool and it just stays. And you're like, no, that's definitely proven a long time ago to be an idiotic idea. It just kind of unravels after a couple of steps. Yeah, but
you keep all your money in your shoe too, and then you trip and then your shoes fall off and everyone takes your money. Yeah, kind of like that, I guess.
Yeah, or you broadcast that it's in your shoes, right?
Yeah,
you just tell enough people.
My money is in my shoes. What are we?
Hi, new kid. Could you please introduce yourself? Your name is RHmax. Go ahead and go to the front of the room. Hi, my name's RHmax. I'm from Illinois. I've been transferred here. My money's in my shoes.
Is this a round table setting of everyone's got like foldable chairs and all that too?
Exactly. Yes. And maybe your mom brings cupcakes.
Is it in the blockchain or is it in your shoes? We don't know.
Okay. Sorry. I'm gonna relinquish the mic back to DJ in just one moment.
What's the point? Like, I didn't understand the quintessential message here.
The point is that
we shouldn't be talking about it in space, or what?
No. The thing is that bad advice and idiotic like level 1 type of security shit,
right?
And misdirection is coming in as a bright idea into our community all the time.
Oh, that.
Okay, it's like hey, it's idiotic. It's like hey, we start from scratch. Like, no, you don't trust any hardware wallets. What you do is you email it to yourself, and you obscure it with something like a recipe that you commit to your memory. That's
especially
the best way
now, this late in the cycle.
Yeah, right. Yes, it's the perfect time to make a mistake.
To bring in new things
Funny enough, there's all these meta points of like actually putting a draft instead of sending it. It's like, are you protecting against, transit attacks and stuff too? But it's already encrypted. But actually, I don't know. There's all these like, getting on the technical side of it. There's all these like sub points that some of these ideas have. But overall, there's just, a lot of these things are just not good ideas. So.
Right. I think I made a comment a long time ago that back in the day when, we'll say that the T word, those bad guys used to communicate via the shared email account, but only through drafts, right? So that was like a big breakthrough from the 3-letter agencies. We're like, we've discovered that they're not communicating through transit, which we've been monitoring, but it's in the drafts folder of a shared fucking account. And then this guy comes up with this bright idea. It's safe if it's in your drafts. No, it's not. So
well, there is precedent for that. So there you go. He was there's anecdotal of people doing that before, but don't want to emulate them, I don't think.
Exactly. It's like, hey, you know what? Mail marijuana to yourself, but use FedEx because it's cool.
But what if you put it in a box and just set it on your own porch, and then
I saw in Beverly Hills.
You never should.
In Beverly Hills Cop, they used coffee grounds. Let's do that.
All right.
Anyway.
So anyway, we have a red candle day. Woo!
Yeah. You're looking at the chart. You guys still looking at prices?
Of course, we're trying to suss out the community sentiment, and it's really weird that today all of crypto is going down. Bitcoin is probably looking to retest 100K now as a
that was expected,
low, but it's already oversold, so I think it won't be any more dramatic. But no financial advice. Let's see what Toby has got on that later on. But we're dumping
exact numbers of the exact number of hex that was sold in the last 24 hours, because we could take that, multiply the price by like 10,000x, and then put that to the number and be like, that's how much money was just lost out of the market, future potential because of the massive selling from sell pressure. Just one idea.
Very wise.
Peter, do you believe in 10,000x? No.
Hello, Cell Pressure.
Are you team 10,000x?
Hello, Cell Pressure. How are you today?
But validators are coming back. Woo! So you see here this little we had this dip there, lost 5,000 validators in a day.
Thanks, Richard.
Magically they're back. Interesting, isn't it?
I like validators.
And in other news, BlackRock, which we featured in the intro, is making strategic shift to their portfolio holdings. So they're moving away a little bit from Bitcoin and now buying up Ethereum, and to the tune of more than $50 million only in the month of May. They've been buying Ethereum up. So that is an interesting move, I think.
What if they rebranded to Ethereum Rock? Be good for price. ETH Rock.
Let's see what the Rock is cooking.
That's their master plan, right?
So they buying up ETH, which is interesting. It's also important for us.
No, they swapped Bitcoin for ETH.
Yes, so they didn't cash out, but they kept it in crypto and balancing the portfolio.
Exactly. More.
Yes, for today. Nice. The ECB bank has dropped interest rates by quite a good amount. It's now down to 2 points by a quarter point. So
what's an ECB?
That's the
European Central Bank.
The European Central Bank is the equivalent of the Feds, bro. And the German Chancellor is visiting the White House, and I was like really worried that it's going to be another Zelensky type scolding, but
he needs to say thank you.
Yeah, he needs to say thank you, and he did actually.
You haven't said thank you one time.
His opening speech. So, but
he says, well, thank you for having me. Thank you for seeing me. And thank you for doing business with my country.
It was pretty much in that accent, yes. Because he speaks with a tough German accent. But that happened this afternoon. But thank God it was an amicably situation. So no drama there. Because everything is overshadowed by this story that Tam was already alluding to in the chat. That Elon Musk is not happy with the spending bill that's about to be passed in Congress, and Donald Trump loves it because it has tax reductions for companies and whatnot, but he sells it as tax reductions for middle class. But yeah, and
middle class companies.
Yes. So Elon Musk is saying time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files.
Who wasn't in the Epstein files?
I'm not in the Epstein files.
Donald Trump responded, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and
Oh.
contracts.
Shots fired. Shots returned.
Shots are being fired is a bit kindergarten-esque, if I may say so, but this is like going back and forth in public, totally overshadowing everything today. So, because one big part of that spending bill is cutting governmental subsidies for all, not just Tesla, but all the EV car makers, and so they're cutting that out, saving funds.
I have a theory. I think that
Discuss.
and
What
Elon
do you
Musk,
make of that?
Well, Elon Musk once spoke out against subsidies, right?
Yes.
He said that about 3 years ago. He thinks
Just not his own.
Not his own, right?
Not his
the
own.
EVs are fine, but the rest, no. No, but I think that it was a bromance conceived and blossomed in hell. And now it's a breakup on the kindergarten playground. So congratulations, everyone!
Congratulations! Yeah, it's wild though. Just 3 months or 4 months in the presidency, I find that very bizarre.
It's Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Great.
So sentiment is weird, and also weird in the community. RHmax, what do we do here? Like, how can we bring this back? Because now it seems, if you look at the X today, it feels like, everybody on the outside is already hating Richard Hart. The big exchanges. Nobody would list Pulsechain. If they had an interest, they would have long time ago listed it. The Sexes.
We're gonna buy them.
The BTC Maxis. And now it feels half of the community is also shitting on Richard. So it's just us left here.
I'm shitting on Richard too. Because it's
hold
deserved.
Hold on a second. RHmax, you're the guy that's known for debates now. I'd like to have a debate right now, please. The topic is Peter is a real dickhead. You be the proponent, and I'll also be the proponent. Go.
Oh, that's usually you have somebody have the opposite proponent on that one. So
but not now. Not now.
Defend Peter.
Really
defend Peter. I like Peter. He's
can't defend Peter. Look at him.
I don't like you. Can we start with that?
What? You're looking at Papa. Yeah. Okay.
But he's thinking about the rest of humanity. He just doesn't like people. That's his general message. He's such a curmudgeon.
But do you see it the same, or
I'm happy when Peter gets maddest against. When you get the maddest against, man, we're gonna party. I'm gonna go into Europe.
Yeah,
we're gonna party.
Wow.
I don't need matters of gains. What I need are limit orders.
Single-sided stake.
Well, I wouldn't hold my breath for that. But matters of gains, we might get that. We might get it.
On ramps, off ramps.
Yeah. So what do we need in the community? The original question.
The original question was, do you see it the
debates.
same way that is now like it's too many, and we have to be now the cheerleaders, or because we haven't lost faith, obviously, but everybody else seems to have, or like Jim Red, who you had on the debate yesterday, seems to be doing it for fun or for strategy. But what's the strategy? You tried to ask that question a few times, like,
I asked
what's
him
the point in being negative and fighting your own back? Yeah. And you didn't get an answer. I felt like what's up with all these people?
You had plenty of opinions for sure. Man, that's a big question. Like, there's all these different ways you can look at it too. There isn't just one way to look at things. I think that's like a big point that I hope people take across. Like, what's good for the community, what's good for the individual, what's happening in the broader ecosystem, the macro, RH, steel, all this stuff. Like, there's 10 different lenses you can look through it. The most helpful one, I don't know. We're all waiting for price to go up, so people are mad and some people are hanging in there. Like, I think that's the most, I guess, the Occam's razor. Like, what's the simplest answer to this is they want price to go up. I mean, the world kind of sucks here and there, and everybody wants their bags to be worth more, and they expected all these things of RH, and it's not happening. And now they're like, what am I doing? It's kind of like a come to Jesus moment, or some flavor of that. So I think I could tell you what I think we should be doing is having more conversations. And that's what I've been trying to do with the debates. Like, it's like, talk to each other. Like, even if we don't like each other, even if, like, there's plenty of people I don't like in the ecosystem either. I don't go on stream and like rant about them for an hour. Or I mean, again, not against anybody who does, but like that's just not my thing.
Who do you?
I'd rather be like, all right, you have an opinion.
Who do you not like in the community? Let's dish. Come on.
That's a great question. That's a great question. See, I think it's so unhelpful to answer that.
I know.
So
I'm just joking, of course.
Oh, yeah. No, it's but that's the thing. It's like
Peter, isn't it?
The whole ideal. Peter probably has the best lighting of anyone here. I got to say that it's pretty good. Peter.
What?
You're looking sharp, man. It's looking good. The best lighting.
Okay.
Maybe the best mic. I don't know.
It's
My mic
Pride
always
Month,
sucks. I don't have
Peter.
a good
He likes
judge of
you.
mics, but
Yeah, Peter, since you didn't do the kissing
there's
thing,
always gonna
you
be
can
the
now
puns.
mirror your camera back to
First it's lighting, and then it's chest and abs.
because your T-shirt says twat.
Does it say twat? I thought it said something around. There's a W
There
in
you
there.
go.
There we go.
I don't like you anymore, Papa B. I don't want to look at you.
I
So
never
it's a
liked
metallic
you, my
helmet.
friend.
Anyways, you can call it a distraction. You can call it I think we do need healthy distractions though. We need things that help us understand everyone's perspective better, figure out what we want to believe and what we don't. And we don't need mob mentality, shutting down censorship. Like I've never seen so many people in DeFi like be pro censorship. It's super weird to me. And everyone's trying to save somebody else, and everyone's trying to, again, I was joking earlier about Poppy. You gonna tell me who not to have on the show? It's like it's just so weird to me. It's like I'm here to be my own self, to be my own brand, and to do things I think are interesting. There's so many conversations we need to have.
Wait, did I tell you who not to have on your show? I never said that.
No. I was joking earlier. I was expecting. The joke was I was expecting you to like that was be your announcement, but because people like to say that sometimes.
No.
I know. I was joking.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think you're actually trying.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just to clear that up.
The joke was I was expecting that to be your announcement of like I want to tell you who you should have because they're too dangerous.
Just don't have Peter on your show. Yeah. Thank you.
But
damn it, Peter! Now we got to schedule something. I've just been invigorated.
The debates, though, maybe you can help me understand again what is it that you're trying to achieve with that, and I think it's also a bit in the critics there. And me, I have watched all of them. And real quick summary: you had Dipcatcher, who pretty much used it to shield his project. Then you had Crypto 7. No substance, didn't even know what a red notice was, which was his topic to debate. And I don't like the guy, sorry. And then Jimrat, who
Not only you.
Jimrat, who I usually like, because I'm also not, except Crypto 7, I'm not shitting on a fellow Hex or Pulsechain streamer, because that's, there are people that like them, and it's pumping all of our bags, so they need to do their thing. But also, he was just yesterday, I don't know, baseless, ranting about what Richard may have done or may have not have done. And I get it, that's his view. And yes, you can see all of these things like that, but you can also flip it 180 degrees and say, view them totally different, like totally opposite. So, and since you can flip it 180 degrees, it's not a fact. It's just a personal opinion. That's just his opinion. That's how he views Richard's behavior. I view totally different. So what is then?
I'm glad you think I won that one. I'm glad you think you won. I'm 3 for 3 as far as I know. I'm 3.
That's the 3. But so what is? Because you're a good guy. I think good at heart, and I think you have the intention to let these people speak, not censor them, have their opinions out in the open. But as Ellie Kane, who is our resident Irishman in the community, who we had in the intro, would say in his accent, "Are you adding value?" Is this helping what we're trying to do, or is it maybe not helping? That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. Maybe
it's a great
help
question.
me. How do you?
No, I'm glad you watched all of them too. I'm glad you watched all of them too. So
hey, I suffered through all of them as well, sir. Big fan of your show and your work. Where's my flowers?
Peter's like, Max do debates?
I
think
I'm not anti-free speech.
I watch. I troll you too, but you never answer to all my little trolls because I troll under the name of Jay. So if you ever see that, that's me.
Jay, okay.
Sometimes you call me out like, "Hi, Jay, good to see you." You don't know who it is. You're like,
sometimes I look at comments and I engage. And
why? Because I've always been. That's my first handle in this community. So fuck you, Peter.
Anyways, so the reason I think each of the debates that we've had that. So I had 3 so far. I got one tomorrow. It's a meme coin debate. You guys may enjoy that. Feel free to tune in. With a guy who I don't know much about. He came onto the Pulse conference and did like a meme coin, like a lightning talk, and I talked to him for a few minutes. And besides that, we went back and forth, exchanged a little bit of things. I think he has a coin, but I just think in general, talking about meme coins and are they net positive, are they net negative, getting that out, information out, instead of just like getting this like tweet about I hate this coin or tweet about you should buy this coin. Like I think that's much more valuable to have the long form conversation. I love long form conversations. So part of it, selfishly, I enjoy it too. Do I seem like the guy who likes debating though? Like before I started doing debates, anyone like, oh, Max would debate anyone? Would you think that of me? Anyone?
Well, what makes you a master debater is that you have a good, like, you know what's up, like, you know about Hex, you know about Pulsechain, and you followed Richard Hart from the jump, so nobody can take that away from you, and you have an expertise in that. Nuance, so you can back up whatever you say in these debates by experience, by knowledge.
Yeah. Well, I try not to say stupid stuff too. That helps a lot. I try not to say things that are like obviously incorrect or can't back them up or all that stuff too. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm sure I said things that are like, okay, that wasn't a great point. Anyways, I asked the question because I think that you don't need to be like take on these different personalities. You don't need to just like do all these things for entertainment only. You can do things that are both entertaining and educational. So like I said before, somebody puts out a tweet, they don't like meme coins. Somebody likes meme coins, and then somebody picks a side. That's not valuable to me. That's just following someone else's what they just said. I think what's more valuable is to have a conversation, whether you agree with them or not, whether you like it or not, whether you like the person or not, see what they have to say, and then decide whether they have good points or not and where you fall in it. So a lot of people don't like people I've interviewed or debated with. People probably don't like me in my positions or whatever too. But if they hear the conversation, then they're like, oh, I see there might be something there. That's actually a good point. Or they'll just reinforce it, whatever. They'll come away and not change their mind at all. But if we never have the conversations, the whole thing is just going to be about following somebody else or based on some bad experience they had or some good experience they had or recency bias or like whatever else you can think of. So that's part of it. It's like, why do we have it? Why I think it's valuable? Because that is the most valuable way to understand perspectives is to talk about them and like lay it all out. I would agree
if it was an honest debate, but
so
I believe it wasn't. They were using your platform to farm engagement, all three of them, for their channel. Remember Jim Red when he gave you these compliments, like, "Oh, you're such a great guy, and you will in future be very successful," which is true, but that's an obvious tactic. We weren't born yesterday, Max.
But like, what's the impact of that? The people who watch that debate and they go follow Jim Rat because they like his ideals, what does that have to do with me? Like, yeah, he was on there talking about him. They must believe what he believes. So why can't they go believe that with him? And the people who watched it because they were a fan of his and they see my side of it and they go follow me instead. Or like, I don't see, like, that's the part of like saving people where I just think like, I'd rather have everything out in the open and then people decide rather than be like, don't lead lambs to the slaughter type of thing. I just don't think it's just not a priority. My priority is get the information out there for people to decide. And yeah, there's gonna be some people who get scammed because they go in a different direction because they heard people. Richard debated how many scammers or bad people or people we didn't agree with did Richard debate?
Yeah.
A ton. Are you following them right now? Fuck no. Like, I'm not either.
But Richard came from a fairly strong and opinionated position, and he wasn't a sweetheart like you, Max. He was, calling them scammers to their face, like right there, and their jaws were dropping, and then they were actually leaving in a huff.
And Richard wanted to farm their audience.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of farming audiences, DJ, I'm sorry, I just had one idea. The psychology of somebody using RHmax's platform is a very cool one from a psychological point of view. If you unplug and leave the community for a year and you want to get back onto the freeway and you want to be first in line and make a big thing of it, what's the easiest way to do it? Get into traffic, go to the passing lane and stomp on the brakes. So you will definitely be the head of the pack then. Everyone will be looking at you and honking their horns for some reason. So sometimes negative, coming out with a big negative criticism and whatever, just out of the gate, pretty much. I mean, Jim Rat's been back on the scene for what, a week and a half, and all of a sudden he's booking the
4 weeks.
What?
I said 4 weeks.
Okay,
probably.
four more. Okay, 2 more weeks. Fine. So anyway, he comes on. The point is it's recent, and he announced, I just unplugged everything and took me time for a year. I'm back, and now I'm depressed at the chart, and all these criticisms have been. He hasn't even gotten the lay of the land or seen the new community members.
Well, now we know. That's the point. Now if that's what you took away from it, well, now you may listen to him less. And if you think the same thing about me, you may listen to me less. Like, that's the point, is like, if we don't have the information out there for people to decide, is less data better to make decisions? I think more data is better.
Oh.
And again, that's not going to work for everyone. Some people are going to get wrecked and all this stuff. I'm not here to save everyone. I'm here to have these conversations. So
I'm not beating up on you.
Can have information. Yeah. No, I'm not either. I'm just saying, like, that's
yeah. Look, a platform where people can share thoughts. That's an easy. I think that you two, DJ, and you, RHmax, you're putting up a straw man debate, and your logic is sound, and DJ's coming at it from an angle of what's the net positive, and you say, well, freedom of speech or freedom to platform ideas and have the conversation is the benefit. That's the benefit.
Freedom of education.
Yeah. Okay, DJ, can you accept that? Because now that this is a debate between you two, I'm going to be the host saying, DJ, with no skin in the game for me, do you accept that as a proper positive that you can take away from this? And does it answer your question?
No, because it puts me in the box with this comment.
Yeah, there you go. See, so
and that's
yes,
this
true.
one here. I know exactly what this is. This is for you trumpet guys. You know JD Vance, when he came to Germany at the security conference in downtown Munich, he was put on the podium and said, "What you guys are doing in Germany with censoring the Nazi party, in their freedom of speech," and Germany should say, damn right we're doing that, because that has nothing to do with freedom of speech. They want to spew hate rhetoric. So we are the most freedom of speech country over here. But because of what happened in the 1930s, we have actual laws in place to ensure never again. So that kind of speech is being censored. It's not free. Hate speech is not free. So I'm making this evil analogy, kind of baseless commentary. Baseless commentary about Richard Hart. I don't know if we should put that out there like that. I'm just posing the question. It's also not a critique against you. It's just a debate. It's a conversation about how we should take this forward. Sorry.
Yeah. I generally think that the best ideas win. So if somebody watched Jim Wright yesterday and said, you know what, he's got a good point. This place, I'm leaving, or I should, for some reason, think it's a good idea to go deploy the strategies he has, what the strategies were. Same thing with Crypto 7. If you want to believe in his idea, it's like that the best idea should win. So like that's the part. I don't think it. Yeah, maybe there's exceptions, certain things, maybe in here and there, but I don't think we've crossed that point through the debates yet. I think all the ideas we talked about have been like, you either believe them or you don't, and now you know. Now you know the person better. Now you know their positions better. Now you can decide. But I just don't think the whole idea of like not only inviting people who have similar ideals or may not say anything reckless or may not say anything that you totally don't agree with. I don't know. I think more talking is better in this environment too. Like if we're not talking, then we're probably just going to keep disagreeing. But if we start talking, we can be all right. I definitely don't agree with you, or hey, he's got a point.
Maybe
he's totally biased.
Maybe I'm just disappointed that we still stick with the program, and all three of them used to, and now seem to have flipped in a new way. And Jim Rat has an audience, if we're honest, that all of us here would never reach. So he is kind of important for the space.
That's the other part. That's the other part.
If he
Is like
has
that's the
wrong
complication, right? Like
ideas
if
about
we,
Richard and sticks with that and
And
cannot
what
be
did he say?
is not open to your point of view.
plenty of interesting things. Yeah. No, I mean, so
You know.
that's it comes down to that too. Do we think that people shouldn't be in a community because they hold different opinions that we don't agree with? Do we think that's useful or not useful? Like, how do we prioritize it? Because to me, it's like prioritizing the individual versus the group. Like, there's, again, plenty of people I don't like or I don't agree with or I don't promote in the community. And if they left, I'd probably be like, I probably would do a sigh of relief. But since they're here, I'm like, well, hopefully they're a net positive in some way. Hopefully they do something. Hopefully they have a following to keep people in, and whatever flavor people like their stuff, they keep going towards them. They're never going to watch my channel. Maybe they'll watch their channel and they'll get in and they'll accidentally find me or find you guys or something too. So it's just a different prioritization of it, I think. And I'd rather talk than not talk.
Speaking of not talking,
Hey, Toby.
I suggest that we get to the charts and then
Nope.
Toby can speak
Nope.
his piece after that. Because
After the charts? No, I got to do this now.
Toby has no comments. You don't have any comments.
I got to do this now. Charts after, and I'll bust through the charts quickly. I've got a big problem. Because I came in here and originally, damn you, RHmax, I was thinking to myself, him platforming these people is not net positive. Damn it. Where's my pitchfork? Where's my torch? And then I've listened to you, and then I realized as I calmed down a little, and this is very much a method I use on Twitter too, which I would recommend for everyone. And someone told me this a long time ago. If you feel emotionally compelled to write a reply to someone, it's probably better to write it all out and then save it in drafts. And look at it in a day or two and see once the emotion is removed from it, if you really want to say anything at all. And maybe if you do respond, maybe a meme, just a meme. You don't, or nothing. So what's interesting is that I've had some time to calm down from that stance. Also, I did not watch the Gym Rat thing. I watched what I could stomach of the Dip Catcher one, and same with the Crypto 7. And what came to fruition for me by hearing you talk to these guys now is it's not you that I want to block. I want to block all these guys. Well, except for Peter. I want to block Poppin' Out and DJ for being advocates of not freedom of speech, because you nailed it. And the truth is, as much as we don't like it, and my example I always gave was this. I was in the AIDS Memorial March in Washington, D.C. in 1996.
Pride Month.
It was the last time they had the AIDS Memorial quilt all assembled in one place at the same time. While I was there, the Westboro Baptist Church was there. I was with my brother who was gay, a friend of ours who was gay, my girlfriend at the time, my mom. And we're marching, candlelight vigil, walking from the Washington Monument to the Lincoln Memorial or vice versa. And the Westboro Baptist Church was there with hateful signs, as you all are aware if you remember this group, and they're still out there. God hates fags. Thank God for AIDS. Most egregious, terrible shit you've ever heard in your life.
What?
The fact of the matter is that as I was walking by, I bristled, and I wanted to go grab one of those placards and jam it up one of their asses. And my brother squeezed my hand a little tighter.
That's kind of gay.
He started singing This Little Light of Mine. And then after that, other people in the crowd, when that song was over, started singing Jesus Loves the Little Children. And everyone stayed calm and kept on walking. Thank you. My brother would have appreciated that. God rest your soul, bro. Anyhow,
hold on.
The point being is that those people have the right to those opinions.
But I'm not against freedom of
speech.
speech.
And terrible and unspeakable. I think that I would fight for that right, even if it's things I don't like. It is the right to say what you want to say, and the answer to free speech is not less speech. And I think that that's where you kind of open my eyes back to what I've already believed for my whole life. The answer to bad free speech is more speech, not less. So, yes, is there an argument that you're platforming these people and they're getting more eyeballs? There's always going to be people that are going to focus on things in a way that is disingenuous. Maybe they have an ulterior motive. Maybe they're just misguided, or maybe they're just really caught up in their emotions and they don't want to look at it logically. Or they have an agenda because they want to build a following, and they know that, if you're dramatic, I mean, look at me, dude. I've been around since the beginning. I don't even have 10,000 followers on Twitter. It's like I'm generally pretty non-controversial, and I'm always trying to mediate and keep things cool with people most of the time. But if I was a firebrand and I was out there, waving my fists in the air and yelling and crying and screaming, and I'm sure my numbers would be way bigger. That's just the nature of social media. So I think that that's kind of what we're witnessing here. I mean, and everyone plays that game to like build their following. And maybe there's a little bit of that with you too, because you know that that's the topic of the day and it's going to get eyeballs. But I think genuinely your hope is, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, is because I think that you've been a good actor for as long as I've known you. And I really love all the contributions you made to the community. I think that you have confidence that your better speech is going to trounce theirs. And if some of their followers come and watch that because they like those guys, then maybe they're going to hear your take on it and be like, maybe Dipcatcher, Crypto7, Jim Rat, and those guys are maybe not giving me the full picture here. And maybe I need to like simmer down and listen to the facts and the logic.
Yes.
And then you can turn to them. The only shortcoming to any of that, and then I'm done. The only shortcoming to any of that, and I go back to like Richard's recent tweets about punching up or punching down, right? Is yes, those guys have some decent sized followings, but they're not huge accounts. So what I would encourage you to do is see if you could find some accounts much larger than you, maybe even outside the community, probably outside the community. Maybe even a guy like B-Ruse, he's got a big following. Get Hexo on, see if you can get him to talk about somebody. But I mean, but ideally someone outside the community with a bigger following, and then you're more likely to do kind of what Papa was pointing out that Richard did back in the day, which is he was getting eyeballs from these other big influencers' followings and decimating those guys' opinions with facts. And I think that you could do that, and that might
drive them this way. It's very hard to do, but but it's not even. I mean, I agree with all the points you said, but it's not even about growing the channel. It's not even about I think it's honestly engaging the community and helping educate them. Be like you said, you blocked all three afterwards. If you listen to the debates, you may or may not block one of us. If I have anyone controversial and that has a controversial opinion, you're probably going to block or unblock. You may unblock Dipcatcher. You may unblock, one of the people too, once you listen to what they have to say, all that stuff. So yeah, it's more about that, more about just having the conversations. And yeah, if the channel grows, it grows and stuff too. And it is engaging, it's exciting. And why not have both? Why not learn both? But something I didn't get to cover real quick too, that I think maybe DJ and Toby kind of touched on too, especially with Richard's latest tweets. Have you all heard of risk diode concept? Richard popularized a little bit. So I talked a little bit at the conference, Pulse conference, about misusing risk diode and how ghosting scammers. It sounds like a good idea, but there's two problems with it for debates and conversations. We'll say I'll bring out. One, most people aren't scammers. They're not scammers. They just have a very different opinion of you, or are pushing in a very different direction than you would prefer. Whatever go. And then two, censoring people by mob just never works. Like historically, it just never worked. Like you talk about more answer to free speech is more speech. Like, yeah, I totally agree. And something I mentioned before, let the best ideas win by merit. Let people hear both people. And if they say, you know what, I really don't like this other person, I'm now confirmed why I don't like them, I'm going to block them. Or if that changed their mind, that's fine too. But it's like, I don't know, this I think a lot of it gets emotionally charged, and I'm going to try to save people from getting scammed. And it's like, I don't pretend to be the person who can save everyone from scams either. I don't think I know all the sides and all the perspectives, but I can tell you what mine is and see if you agree with it or not. And that's why I like to have these conversations.
Yeah, I like your even keeled approach to it and like the lack of emotionality. And I think that that's been a good counterpoint, especially with two of the three guys that you had on recently. Dipcatcher's a little slyer about it. It's like, it's not as overt, but it's like, he's definitely like doing the backhanded compliment thing and more or less fudding RH and the ecosystem, but he just does it in a more clever, articulate way than the other two guys. But that's it's like
passive aggressive.
What you want about him? I mean, you can't take that away from the guy. He's very, very smart. But the thing is like, and this is what I try to do too, is get people to temper their emotions, because you just typically don't make good decisions when you're emotional. And the problem is I mean, I really like Jim Rat. It's like, I spent some time with him when we were in Vegas. I think he's a good kid. I think he's, maybe he's got a little grown up to do, and I think he's got some stuff to learn, but I think his heart's in the right place. He does really fully believe he's trying to save people. He's just going about it a way that a lot of us, think is misguided, but hey, to each their own. It is freedom of speech after all. But, but the deal is like with those people, they are stoking the fires of the mob. And on socials, what we see with lots of issues out there in the world is it's a vocal minority, right? I know that my biggest onboards aren't even on Twitter, but not even on it. having a clue. But
Yeah,
everyone's
but
so focused
it
because
makes the sentiment, though, you know.
well,
and-
it's sentiment, but it's a microcosm of sentiment because all we're hearing is the people that are choosing to speak up, and there's a lot of people that are on Twitter that don't say shit.
But
They just
Twitter
kind of lay
has-
back and they're intermittently in and out. Who we hear are the people that are the most vocal, and that gives us a misguided importance, like an inflated sense of how big a problem may or may not be. Right? 'Cause it's like-
presidential polling, basically.
Bing, presidential election, dude. Look at all the shit that happened in the media and social media and mainstream media, like that was manipulated. And then when you went out on the street and talked to people, did you have that experience? It was, for me, it was very, very different than what I thought it was going to be like in social media and even mainstream media, because it was, the narrative was shifted and their agendas. I think we're assuming with some of these guys that their agendas, maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just figuring it out. It's like guys like Jim Rat. I think they're just figuring it out as they go. And he'll say as much, like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just taking you along for the ride. And it's like, you know, is it net positive? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
the danger is they're
have to
presenting
decide.
this as factual, and it's maybe not. Like, and that is
Right. Well, and that's
the-
where
that
guys
is
like
the
us
danger.
and guys like, yeah, well, that's where guys
And
like
I'm
us
not
do-
against freedom of speech. I opened the stream today with Happy Pride Month, like what? So I'm not, but I am
doesn't
very
make
much.
doesn't make you anti-gay, okay?
I am very much
Makes you
against
extra gay.
Makes you uncle gay.
unfounded shitting on Richard Hart, and I will also freedom of speech speak out against that.
Well, it's slanted narratives. It's slanted narratives, right? Because it's like we talked about this actually on RHmax's conference about how one of the things that really grinds my gears is when people say things like, "Oh, we're down 99%." It's like the chart's down 99%.
Yeah.
Find me the guy that's
But
down
that was
99%.
Jim Rat's biggest argument.
Right. It's like, show me the guy that bought at the very, very top and is still holding. And yes, he's down 99% or whatever, 98, whatever it is now, right? But if you figure in the splits, if you figure in did they DCA, are they staking and earning more? You figure in all those other things, nobody's down 99%. It's a bullshit narrative, but it gets people's attention and it gets people pissed off because then they're like, we're not down 99%. And then the other guys are like, yeah, we are. Look at the chart. And it's like
Quick question for
circular
DJ
bullshit.
real quick. Question for
Yes.
DJ real quick though. Do you think that people who watch that? I mean, since we're talking about the Jim Rat debate, I guess we'll focus on that one for a minute. Do you think people who watched that heard his points? You think more of them were like, "Whoa, that makes no sense," or more of them will be like, "Whoa, I get it now. I'm with him." Like which
I
which
think
one do you
more
think?
people
watching the
who
debate.
are shaky, who are not as firm in the belief as we maybe are, but people who are on the fence and who may have come in, joined later, bought the top, have been down for 4 years, then listening what he says kind of confirms their fear that something is maybe wrong. That is
Welcome to the
And
world
do you think
of
that
speculation.
him?
What's confirmation bias, right?
Well, it's pretty interesting with him though too, because he streams like all the time now. Like he came back, he streams all the time. Do you think the people watching wouldn't have already heard him say it many times over? That's where I'm
No,
like,
that's
I don't
new.
know. I feel like people
that's
watching
new. Before his streams.
Do you think we had net new people who've never seen him before came to that debate who would agree with him, who were looking for reasons to agree with him?
Sorry, what do you?
I'd say it's unlikely.
Right.
DJ,
I'd say, do you think there's new people who don't already agree with him, who came to the debate, who now agree with him because they heard?
No, I don't think that.
Right. Same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
But
think
the
there is
people
some.
on
There's
the
always gonna be
fence,
people who do.
they feel
but, like,
confirmed. They feel like.
Well, but those are people that are
he's
being.
speaking
But those
what
are
I've
people
always
obviously.
thinking.
But those are people, DJ, that are obviously.
Can't save everyone. It's like they're gonna whether they hear it from us during that debate or some other time, they're probably gonna do it anyways. So it's like I'd rather we at least get it on the table. It's a prioritization. Like I'm not saying there's no downside to it. I'm just saying like I'm prioritizing this, the other.
Well, and it's entertainment too, right? Like I used to watch some
and
all the
please
time.
don't misunderstand. We're not critiquing you for it. We're just having a debate.
No.
About like
we're debating the debates right now. I love it.
and
Let's do it.
where are we? We're also trying to figure. I don't have all the
No,
solutions.
please be open.
Figure
and
out
honest.
where
Like,
we're going.
You can,
That's all.
You can hold different positions and still be polite.
If I can add something here as well, it's
I
like
want to add something too.
Let
sorry,
Peter
go
add
ahead.
something.
Peter. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter, and then
Kvechnia.
I'll go after you. Go ahead. We got to take turns. on this.
DJ, only thing I want to say, I have no idea what was said in the debates because
Great.
I'm well informed, but I guess that some of the criticism is well deserved because I'm going back to my limit orders joke. God damn it! If you don't have limit orders after no. If the testnet has more features than the mainnet, something is you cannot say it, but you can feel it that something is very fucked up.
No, it was more like that Richard always said in his streams, Hex has the best chart and it's 99% down. Like it's contradictory to his stream. That's, I guess, the main...
Well, but it's all about where you measure it from, right? I mean, that's from the top. If you measure from the bottom,
I measure mine from the back of the testicle.
Okay, so but here's the deal. It's like I think the top.
Well, I think there's nothing.
Let me just add this. I think the tippity top of the chart is as meaningless as the very bottom. Richard himself said in Zurich when he was doing his European tour, he said how if you measured it from the all-time low, not the launch, that we were already up, or we were nearly up 10,000x already, and it would have put us around 52 cents. That ended up being a self-fulfilling prophecy. So many people parroted that around. I had a limit order set to try to sell around that level, and then I canceled it because I had a feeling. I'm like, we're going to top there. It's just the narrative is there. He admitted that it looks better to measure from the all-time low. Well, for people that want to go to the other side of it, it's going to look better for them to measure from the tippity top. So it's all about framing, right? So it's like, I think what RHmax is doing, what we try to do here is, let people have the facts of the matter that are unbiased. I mean, yeah, of course, do we love Richard Hart and do we want like his stuff to succeed? Do we think that he's the greatest founder in crypto? Yes, all of that. However, for me, and I can only speak for myself, it does not affect my opinions of what he has done and why he's done it. I can see how some of it is up for interpretation. So guys like Jim Rat, he's leaning into interpretations of his behavior, and there's a lot of assumptions packed in there that it's malicious, that he's doing it. He's like getting people to be greedy. He's doing all this stuff to like, he's really looking at it through the most negative lens possible. And there is a contingent of people that are going to rally around that and are going to be like, yeah, fuck that guy, because I'm down too. So yeah, that guy's a piece of shit. And it's like, and you're going to get this groundswell. And it's kind of like with BitBoy, you get this false sense of importance and this false sense of success because you have all these supporters. But what is your stuff based on? Is it based on logic and facts and a real discernment of like how to like parse this stuff out? I'm not aware of Richard Hart doing anything that is dubious. I'm just not. If somebody has it, like, let me know. It's like he's never scammed anybody. It's like, look at his former businesses.
He's not selling. He's not going away. Nothing.
He lays it all out.
He's just not as present as we like him to be.
Well, I've got the mic. I've just got one other thing to add because Rackham was talking recently, and it's not.
Oh my God!
No, we don't say that in this show.
It's not an uncommon opinion that, and Richard has said himself, like, hey, if you want something done, go build it. We got a builder on stream with us right here, a couple builders. Papa with B9. We got Max with all the things that he's done. DJ with all the music stuff he's done and the shows he's put together for years now. Peter and me, whatever. We show up and try to do the thing.
I'm a destroyer.
The highest.
What he said was he was really leaning into this thing of like, we don't need Richard. Where I would combat that is that Richard and the devs that he's hired to run Pulsechain, we kind of need him. We kind of need him because if he wants to roll out updates to the change, it's not like fully open source and completely decentralized. We don't have a DAO to make these decisions, to make these changes. We still need him in that regard. But the problem is that's more nuanced, and that's not as sexy as saying, oh, people need Richard because they want Sack Daddy to pump our bags. That's another bullshit narrative too. I don't think we need that. I think we need Richard to roll out the next updates on Pulsechain.
Marketing.
The next updates on PulseX. Give us some limit orders. Give us some single side staking. Give us the rest of your roadmap, Rich. I think that's great. And I understand that there's reasons why some of that's not happened yet. And I think that when it does, people will be thrilled. And it's a matter of market timing. All this bloviating really doesn't matter. It just kills time. Today, we'll see the charts here in a second. Ethereum just went back down to 2,400. We can't beat that. We can't go against the macro. We can't. So everyone's like, oh my God, we're down again today. It's in the charts. You'll see them. They don't look pretty. We're breaking out of patterns and it doesn't look good. However,
Richard was wrong again.
Yeah, right. But the macro, it's the macro, dude. It's like when the macro turns around and does its thing, we will follow suit. I am 100% certain. When it happens, I can't tell you. But that's my caffeinated. All right. So let's knock the charts out real quick, and then RHmax, I feel like you had some more stuff to say, so I'll shut up after the charts. All right, so we're starting off with Bitcoin. This big ascending white parallel channel goes all the way back to down the Chattahoochee, like way back to like 2012. Trust me, we've never broken the top line of this channel, and we hit it right after in December, as we kind of knew that Trump was coming into office. We pulled back, started to form this bear flag looking thing. We popped up again, surprise, surprise, January 19th, right before Inauguration Day. There was a lot of bullish sentiment around crypto, pulled back into this channel, broke down from the channel that we thought was maybe a bear flag, or bull flag rather. Went pretty much the full measured move, brought us back down into the mid 70s, started working our way back up. That's the channel we've been in since, and it's this orange channel. And as we kind of came up through it, let me zoom in here a little bit, make it a little easier to see. We got back above the yellow channel, right? So we dipped below it, made the full measured move, even wicked below it a bit. The breakout should have taken us up above the white line and to around 118,000. We fell short of that. It rolled over. People front ran it. We sold off at about 113,000. We've rolled over since then. DJ pointed out last week that we have hey, there's another channel. And sure enough, there is. So if we look at the measured move of this orange channel, and we follow this all the way down, it goes down to not far from where we are now, about 99,000, 99,200. And we wick down, and if you see there really closely, this is on the daily, we stopped right at the 55 EMA, and we're wicking off.
For now.
This could be a bear trap, just like this up here was a bull trap, right? So we'll find out. We'll find out. So we'll see. Macro stuff has to kind of unfold, the tariff stuff, wars around the globe, all the macroeconomic stuff, Jerome Powell, yada, 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 the list goes on. When all that stuff starts to turn around and the sentiment comes back, I could see Bitcoin regaining the top of this line and trying to test the top of the white again. I talked to Papa last night a bit. The thing that always happened in previous cycles is Bitcoin would shoot its shot, right? It would go first, and it would have its big blow off top, and then Ethereum would kind of been creeping up behind it. And then as soon as Bitcoin rolled over, Ethereum would go. It would hit its all-time high. It's about a month lag, right? About a month later, Ethereum hits its all-time high. Then as that starts to roll over, alt season typically would start. That's kind of the pattern we've seen. It obviously is a little different this time. We'll see. There could be a situation where, 1.5x is all you're getting on Bitcoin this time, this cycle. From the previous peak to this one, maybe 118 is it, right? And that could very well be the case, because if we never get above this white line, if we go all the way out to frickin' November, December, you're at 120K. So we could do this chop thing and never get above that. And that could be the end for Bitcoin. But think about this. Because of the law of large numbers, this isn't $60,000 Bitcoin. This isn't $30,000 or $20,000 Bitcoin. This is $120,000 Bitcoin. That is a huge amount of economic energy that, as people see that it's shot and they need to rotate into something that's going to give them better returns, that's a lot of money. Do the math, a lot of money that's going to roll over into Ethereum. And there's a lot of people now calling for Ethereum to hit anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000. So that could very well be the thing. And this could be Ethereum's cycle. It could be the sleeper. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But it also could be a situation where Ethereum peaked at around 4,800, something like that. Maybe Ethereum peaks out at 10,000. So now you got a 1.5x from the previous high on Bitcoin and a 2x on Ethereum from the previous high. And maybe that's all she wrote. But again, we're talking about a lot bigger numbers this time. So it's a lot of economic energy that can still roll into alts. And I still think we're going to have a fantastic alt season. But you got to be selective. Obviously, I'm biased toward the RH core. I think we are going to do fabulously in the coming alt season, whether Sack Daddy does anything with the Ethereum or not. I think we're going to do great things. And I think the timing is going to be key as to when he rolls out these new updates on PulseX and Pulsechain and all that energy that goes into it. And then the red notice going away. I think it's all lining up perfectly. So that's why I'm not sweating it even on a down day. So to wrap up Bitcoin.
Just this comment here real quick is actually breaking news for today that a solo miner has indeed minted a full block on his own. That's 3.1K Bitcoin.
Congratulations.
And, going to that pool. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, that broke earlier.
You sold it immediately into this dump. So the measured move on this, it's like I'd be looking for support around 99. That would get us down close to the midline of this previous yellow channel, which is around 96, 97,000. That's also the 100 EMA. So I could see maybe a continuation and a wick down to that. If we go down below that, we got to kind of reassess. I really feel like this is going to get bought back up relatively quickly. next week we'll find out. So moving over to Hex rather. That is EHEX, the baby boy, the firstborn, Richard's first child and most beloved, near and dear to his heart. We have a big descending white parallel channel that goes all the way back to the all-time high, and the lows are actually wicking off of when the run-up to the sacrifices were starting in May of 21. Peaked in September of 21, top, bottom, worked our way back to the top, fell short, and we had this kind of like midland orange channel that we've been working through for a while. And what has happened here is we started to break out, and just like the Bitcoin chart, it rolled over, and now we're back into its previous pattern. So here we've got a midline way down here around 0013. I don't know that we're going to have that much dumpage. I think there's too many people ready to buy at these levels on EHEX. So I would expect this to cool off and start to curl back up. Ideally, this is a little bear trap, and we can get back above the top of this white channel. And where'd my little deal go? I can't move it. Move. Okay, it won't move. But trust me, if we move this over, then the goal would be back up to around 0045. If we can get the full measured move of the orange channel, working our way back to the top of the white channel. It all depends on what's going on with macro. The longer the macro lags, the longer the macro is sideways and down and the sentiment's low, we're going to go sideways and down. It's just the nature of the beast, unless there's something that's very unique to our ecosystem that makes it pump. So we'll find out. Moving right along, we'll go to its new, younger, some would say handsomer, more handsome brother. It's kind of like me and Papa. You can choose.
Hey, I'm the handsome one.
He's the handsome one. I'm the funny and the smart one. So, but I'll take that. So anyhow, here we are on PHEX. So we had this white descending parallel channel on that. Same deal. We wimped out, didn't quite get to the top of that channel and rolled over. We're almost at the midline now, which is around 0058 is where we are currently. That support, which is also horizontal support and resistance, and the midline is going to be 0053. I'd look for some strong support there. Also, and I'm surprised DJ's not piping up here because he loves pointing out potential channels. Do we have another channel here? I don't know if I like that one, because if that's legit and we have multiple touches top and bottom, so technically that would be right. This could be a breakdown of this smaller channel within the bigger channel.
Bearish, huh?
Not great, right? But, if we look at that and say, okay, let's say that that's the move. Let's just for shits and gigs, let's see what kind of move that would take us to. And that brings us down to another horizontal support and resistance. I'm always looking for confluence. It looked like we had a lot of activity at 0036 on PHEX. So if we get the full measured move of this little new channel breakdown, could be there. And if we're that close, I wouldn't doubt it would wick down to do a new all-time low at 0029 in the bottom of the channel. However, much like everything else, I think that my gut is telling me, my instinct is telling me, is that this, whenever you have a big down like that, usually gets bought back up pretty quickly. And then we chop sideways for a while, and then it decides the direction. I don't think it's just going to be like long, dead red candle after the next. I don't think it's going to be, by next week, I don't think we're down here. But, I could be wrong. We'll find out. Moving right along to Pulse. This is kind of the most boring of the ones. It's the gas token. We got a gigantic descending parallel channel that Richard pointed out, and I started using myself. Like, okay, let's do the big boy. So this big orange channel from all the way at the tippity top when we were about 2.6 times SAC, all the way down to the wick lows, got back up to the top, and then we had the big dump in March, the death tweet, that killed everything. Tried to make our way back up, some action along this diagonal, the midline, and then we started working our way back up in this yellow channel, trying slow but sure to work our way back to the top of the orange channel. Same situation with everything else, including Bitcoin. We have fallen out of the pattern that we're currently in. This one's already wicking back up. It wicked down almost to the horizontal support at quadruple 028. And we're already wicked back up to quadruple 03. So we'll see if that continues to work its way up. It's a daily candle. We've got, 3 hours until this closes out. So it'll be real interesting to see where we close the daily. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that a candle reverses entirely. I don't know. We'll see how it goes with the macro against this. I don't know that we're going to get that much of a reversal in a day, right? So it could be same deal where we follow this down, the full measured move down. I don't even want to look at it, but if we did, the full measured move down on on Pulse rather, would take us way down here. And there was some support and resistance around this level before, and that's quadruple 02. So if we do the full measured move down, and this is a confirmed breakdown, then that's where I would be looking for support. But it could stop well short of that and start to chop sideways and then work our way back in. It'd be interesting to see what that pattern looks like next week. coming along to Pulse X. All right, Pulse X is looking pretty decent compared to everything else. It's still more in the top of its large channel. And we had this white ascending channel that it was working its way through. And same as everything else. It's like kind of funny how it follows the macro, right? Even with the patterns. It's like it was in this pattern and it's now broken below it. If we were going to do a measured move on that to just see if we do get a full move down, we'll keep it the same color, keep it pretty for my OCD brain. If we did the full measured move down on this, we'd be precariously close to hitting the midline of the larger pattern, and we'd be down around 4014. If we went all the way that low, the full measured move gets us down to about 4016. So again, my thoughts are that we're going to make our way back up into this pattern. And this has been a real strong uptrend for a long time. The trend is your friend. So I would not judge too harshly by one daily candle down. Once again, we will see. I would not be buying at these levels. I would wait for some more support personally, but I have been buying dips recently. And I did buy some PulseX right around the 004 or 4028. And we're down to 2.6. So I'm down a little bit on that purchase, but I'm a long-term investor. I talked to Papa the other day. I just can't find a way to hit the sell button when it comes to RHmax. Keep buying more. So moving right along to the last, the baby of the family, Ink. Ink actually has some good stuff here, and then we'll do Ethereum for Papa because I know he loves to see Ethereum. So
not today.
In a long ascending yellow ascending parallel channel for a long, long time with this. We had a big exuberant up before the death tweet in March last year, brought us back down to this pattern, rode along the midline, came back up to the top, midline, almost got to the top, down, hit the bottom multiple times. I would say we're right at, we wicked down to a significant horizontal support and resistance. Basically, anytime you see a horizontal line on my stuff, it's where we've had a lot of price action. Like it has either bounced off of that level or it has hit that level and been rejected. So that's where the horizontals come in, where I've seen significant action at those levels. So at 139, that's exactly what we wicked to, and we wicked back off of it. We're already back. 129. Yeah, and we wicked back up to 139 already. So that's bullish. We're falling short of going all the way to the bottom of the channel. Bottom of the channel would put us down around 118. So I see some nice recovery on that one already. So it'd be nice to see this one curl to the upside, start working our way back up through some of these horizontal resistances. The one that we really had difficulty, and you can see here, we talked about it last week, that for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, we just couldn't bust through $2. Like somebody just loved selling ink at $2. So, hopefully we can make another run at it and get above
who
it.
that is.
The next target from that would be the $3 mark, which is also the midline. So that ain't too shabby. Last but not least, let's go to Vitalik's baby, Ethereum.
Thank you.
I think it still looks good, man. I mean, we got a nice ascending orange channel that we've been working through for a long time. You got to realize it was, 3 weeks ago? We were at $1,400, $1,300 Ethereum. And we're at 2,400 and everyone's like saying the sky is falling. That's crypto for you. So this is a 3-day chart. We'll go to 1 day so you can see a little more clearly. So we had a nice big leg up, consolidation, nice big leg up, consolidation from May 10th all the way until like today. And then we've got a little bit of a dump there, right? So we've broken down below the 21 EMA and the 200 EMA. We're just below both of those now. The next, we have a golden cross of the 55 EMA and the 100 EMA. So it could wick down as low as that. The midline of that channel is just below it. So where they cross is 2311. The midline of the channel is 2250. So I can see maybe a quick wick down to that and then a reversal. I think this has been a really strong pattern. I couldn't imagine this pulling a Bart Simpson on us and rolling all the way back down to this previous area where it was consolidating around 1800, but it could. So we'll see how that goes. I would imagine this consolidation chop continues. I mean, some could argue that this is even a bull flag like that. And then basically what you'd be looking at is your trend line here would be the flag. So if we went all the way to the beginning of this move down here, then typically what happens if you break out of a bull flag, it is the height of the pole. So let's say, it chops in this pattern for a while and we get out to like the end of June and it finally goes, then that would be the impetus to possibly finally get us above the top of this orange channel at 4,100. And then we would be moving on to try to get back to its all-time highs, which was, what did I say before, 4,800.
That's more like it.
And that measured move of that bull flag, if that is indeed a bull flag that plays out, would put us about 5,400, which would be a new all-time high. anything above.
Paul's scared the crap out of me. I'm looking around for like firecrackers. every time.
Chinese New Year.
So basically, I'd be looking for, ideally we want to get and stay above 4,200 on Ethereum. I think that's going to be the driver for the alt season. I wouldn't be overly concerned with Bitcoin. I think basically, everyone's in. Like what did Richard say? When you get the rich, and this was last cycle, because the richest man in the world already bought. Well, now everybody else has already bought, right? Everyone knows about it. So we might.
Richest country in the world.
Everybody, right. So so we'll see how it plays out. Could we still be looking at $200,000 Bitcoin before the end of the cycle? Possibly. The exuberance can get crazy quick, but that's a lot of economic energy to move it up there. So I just wouldn't be too overly concerned if Bitcoin just doesn't really go much higher than this cycle. And maybe 118's it. I still think that there's a path to success with Ethereum and ultimately the altcoins. So educate yourself, do your own research. I'm just a talking bald head on the internet. So it's fun to talk about these things. It's interesting to see how things line up. And the bigger thing that I'm trying to show people is I'm not encouraging trading by any means. Most traders get wrecked. Leverage for sure, wrecked. So what I'm looking for is educated DCA. I'm looking for good areas of support on dips so I can be strategic in where I'm buying. I'm just not buying every day, right? I'm buying on certain areas that I think are going to hold and go north.
That's the TLDR. That's right.
That's it. TLDR. Thank you very much, RHmax. And that's the chart news.
Whew.
Nice. I just want to say it's Peter's pseudo agent. I need him to get more airtime. I need more.
When he runs the show
and watches the freaking debates.
He's the Wizard of Oz. He's the man behind the curtain.
No prep.
He almost spoke about 7 times, and I'm like, no, I want to hear what he.
No, you don't.
I blew all mine out.
You don't want to
No,
hear what
that's not a
that
reflection of
shit to
Toby
say.
talking to
Go
us. It's not a
ahead,
reflection of
Peter.
that. I'm
Say
just saying.
something.
Wait, in my defense, really quickly, here's the deal. I have to sit here and listen to these guys for 45 minutes before I can finally come in and say anything. So I got to blow it all out fast. So I just hog the mic for 10 minutes. I get all my shit out, and then I'm happy to let anyone else have the mic.
Imagine what it'd have been like an hour of hogging. Continue. Let's get out of here. Peter, what do you want to say? RHmax is your Pride Month lover, so he wants you to say something.
Easy.
Richard, deploy the fucking limit orders. You fat fuck.
We need limit orders, Richard.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Do it. Make your dreams come true. Do it. Just don't let limit orders be tomorrow. Make them today. Do it.
I like that.
Are you doing the daily
I wanna clip
workout
that.
challenge, Max? Are you doing the deadlifts and the push-ups?
He made me think about it. I do my own workout, but like he's actually inspired me to work out a little bit more too. Hopefully everyone
Papa
else.
B, what about
and
you?
Hopefully him. Hopefully he's inspired himself to work out.
I'm lifting 2 burritos a day and eating them both.
I'm doing pull-ups and push-ups, but I've not logged it on his thing. And it's like I can't do deadlifts because my spine is made of saltine crackers.
Yeah,
so it would just
here.
crumble and I would collapse on the floor. So I got to do other less aggressive low back. So
Walking.
I'm very much into sexercise.
Happy to find my shoes in the morning. So, RHmax, chill your shit. What's coming up? What's happening on your side of things?
Wow.
And what's the
got a lot of
format of
stuff.
the Pulse X conference in July? Same as the last one, or are you doing anything different? Or anything you can say about that?
I will try to get it in quickly, but yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff I got. I'm working on my first blog post on rhmax.org/blog that I've written in almost a year. It's coming out very soon. I've been trying to. I got a lot of stuff going. I've been in a lot of debates lately, so it's very hard to find some time. But I'm gonna get the blog out soon. I think it'll be good. No one probably cares, but I like it, so
We
we're gonna
care.
do that. And then, thank you. And then debate tomorrow. Come by to the meme coin debate with Blockhead. A lot of you may not know him. Well, some of you do, maybe. He'll be there tomorrow. Yeah, it's going on my channel. I can or just search RHmax meme coin. I just retweeted it if you haven't seen it, so it should show up. What else going on? I got a marketing project I want to work on. It may take me a few weeks on that, but there's a marketing project I got coming up. I have an idea for it. I've started putting some wheels in motion for it. Should be pretty good. What else is going on? More debates. So we got a Puerto Rico debate coming up with Corey Gary.
Oh,
Puerto
yeah.
Rico, good
you
idea.
have that
Bad
one
idea.
planned.
Trip to
True.
Texas.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Where he
Yes.
said,
Hey,
yeah, I'm happy to tell you about Puerto Rico, but I'm leaving in 3 weeks.
I'll send you a message about it. But he has.
That was funny.
It's like somebody on his team or something because he was going to hook me up with him and I never talked to him. But basically, they have like an alternative to a charitable remainder trust for like people that don't want to make the jump to Puerto Rico and are staying in the States. That is apparently better than a charitable remainder trust. So it'd be interesting if he wants to speak on that. I would definitely want to hear more.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, if you're in the chat, please bring it up too, because that may be something too. And also Mark Wild.
Yeah, Mark's great.
Mark, he did the
book.
Yeah, he did. He read the book, and he was at the conference. He couldn't come to the conference, but he sent in the bonus content for the conference. He did the talk, record a video. He has some ideas too. I think he's going to hop in after the debate and have what do you call it? Like after session of like different ideas for taxes and all that stuff too. So that's coming up. Hex P-Hex debate. Everyone wants to talk about that. That may be coming up in the next week or so too. Maybe Mr. Chaos, maybe Dip Catcher, maybe Access Live. That could be interesting
that'd be
too.
A good one.
Sure
Are you going to do like teams, like two against two or something? That'd be cool.
I think so. I think we're going to do.
You could have Peter and
it's gonna be, I don't know.
being one team.
See, yeah, it's complicated right now. It's either going to be three of us. It's either going to be three of us in two parts, or either one big part with two teams. So.
You could be Hex team, Hex team fighting
to the death.
Basically, that's what we're hoping for. But it's hard to get everyone together. Everyone's like, oh, I'm just going to go watch the debate. Well, put the debate together and see how much work it is to like get people together and schedule stuff. It's actually
I like both hexes.
People got to do it. You got to actually create quality content. It's all the work behind the scenes. But anyways, and we get paid nothing for it. It's amazing.
I'm in that club.
That's the highlights. Yeah, that's
awesome.
what's coming up.
Looking forward to it. Do you have dates for the Pulsechain conference yet? I think you do. Or do you?
Oh, sorry, I didn't say that. Yes. So on the format, Pulsechain conference, same as the previous conference on the 2 days for 6 hours per day from, 10 a.m. So 1 Eastern to 7 Eastern, Monday and Tuesday on July 14th and 15th, I believe that Monday and Tuesday. So this weekend, I'm announcing it here. I should announce it here. I'm announcing it here. I've been told I can announce it here. That this weekend, submissions may be open. No expectations. Submissions may be open for the Pulsechain conference starting this weekend.
Cool. And then, hey, if you've ever got a lull in your debate schedule and you want some old guy like me coming on and maybe we can talk about like what's net positive, platforming, not platforming. We can talk about it, but it's like, if that sounds interesting to you, I'd be happy to take that either side because I feel like we're kind of on the same side on that.
Win or lose, the audience loses.
Richard Hart applies.
You can bring Prop on for a security debate, right? Because it's like I think you guys
that would be interesting.
Also, that one's good, but mine's bullshit. So thanks.
That's right.
We probably disagree on something. We probably do.
You said it, and I agree.
Right. Yeah.
No. I actually was going to say that early on.
There's some other topics that people like maybe need more information about. Like, because I think people like I know RHmax has caught shit for having these guys on. And it's like, I don't know that it's necessarily fair. And if there was a broader discussion about it, well, it doesn't have to be me, but someone to talk about, like, is it net positive to talk to these people or not? Like something to that effect. And then on the security front, there's still a lot of people out there that just think that hardware wallets are too hard, you just have to have something structured with pop-up.
Or the risk. I like that idea. I was going to suggest it actually, because from a second grade debate with a college professor, second grade teacher against college professor, sometimes there are things that the second grade teacher can see in the field with the kindergartners or, the lower type of echelon, and then, overlooked by the new technology and the guy that's like more in depth in the field and the technical side. That's a great idea because I think a lot of people would tune in to see me get schooled, and I don't mind being schooled. So that's an interesting idea.
You never know. Yeah. Well, first, number one, education. Number two, entertainment. If there is a controversial or otherwise interesting position that you guys want to take on something, send it to me. We might be able to set it up. This is debate season. I call it. This is debate season. I'm manifesting it. It's going to happen. We're 3 in. We got one more one more next, maybe 2 more next week. We're going to see. We're going to see maybe 1 or 2 next week. So it's
awesome.
Green candles versus red candles.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like red candles because I can buy more.
No, but thank you, Max, for coming on, and thank you
yeah.
for putting in all that work, doing all the streaming. The hardest work in Hexagon right now in the community. Follow at RHmaximalist on the X, and the link to the YouTube channel is down in the description. And thank you, everybody, for watching. By the way, we're on Spotify now. You can check us out on Spotify with our old classic catalog of episode. And please,
what the heck?
Smash the likes and hit the follow here, subscribe on YouTube. Did you know that 45% of people watching the stream are not subscribed to the
Is that all people but below the waistline?
It's all people, period.
Oh,
even the Richard is not subscribed, and he's watching.
He may be.
Oh, can you break it down by sexuality, race, all those things? We need to pump those numbers up into ones of minorities.
Right?
Pump it up.
You don't want to see. You don't
want to see it.
See that. Actually, that's just for fun. Real quick, now that you mention it,
those stats are racist.
Let me see if I can. There's just
actually
one stat
we
really
rate
funny.
really highly with the bot. With the bots, yeah, they like us.
It's really funny. Let me see here. Okay, that's our.
Can we do this in green room?
Can we go home?
That's our Spotify stats. So what you can see here
Baby, I want to go home.
Is that we have 96% male audience versus 3.7% female, which I think for a crypto show,
it's all Tam Tam.
It's Tam Tam and Sandy Beach and
Sandy
Mrs.
Beach.
Avalon.
We have 0% divers. We need more divers.
No trans, no nothing. So it's highly male dominated, sausage fest basically. But then, then the shocker over here is the age group.
No,
like most people,
maybe the women are too busy doing interesting stuff, and they rely on their male counterparts to go tell them all the summary.
There you go.
Maybe
Bring it home, baby. That's what they say.
The shocker is
DJ. You said what for the age group?
90% of the people watching us are in the age range of 45 to 59.
Geriatric people.
Hey,
Jesus Christ.
That's good. Hey, guess what? Those are the people with the money.
All of you that are watching needs to take ibuprofen for your back.
I love that. I love that because that's the people with the money, right? That's the people that.
It is.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's why we need Gym Rat. That's why we need Gym Rat in the community because we're not touching the people he touches.
You know what? I've got another problem from that same space that I was complaining about earlier in the show about the security thing. One of those little kids, like in his like late 20s, pipes up and says, "We really got to we got to reach out to the senior citizens in like the 50s and 60s."
Oh my God. Yikes.
Senior citizens, 50s and 60s.
Wow.
Gen X for the win. All right, you guys. It's an outro. We see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Outro.
I know.